Hey, Tburrier from Tburrier.com. So today's video is a little bit of food for thought for you. There's nothing more important than your health, right? I mean, bottom line is your health is involved in everything you do. The healthier you are, the more effective you are, the more energized you are. The more you can show up for the people that you love, the more that you can make a difference in your work, right? The more you can pursue your causes, and the less healthy you are, well, just the opposite, right? So recently I was culling through a white paper that the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition produced, and it had some pretty eye-opening stuff that I wanted to share with you. A lot of this stuff I'm aware of to a degree, but I didn't know the depth or the statistics. So the leading cause of illness in the U.S., what do you think it is? Some people immediately say, well, it's cancer, or it's heart disease, or it's COVID, or whatever. It's poor nutrition. Right? Poor nutrition is the leading cause of illness. As a matter of fact, poor nutrition is at the root of 500,000 deaths a year. 500,000, right? Because everything can be from that, right? Heart disease usually ties back to that. A lot of cancer ties back to that. And nothing is foolproof, right? If you get it right, that doesn't guarantee you anything, except, right, that while you're alive, you're a lot more vibrant and effective. Healthcare spending has tripled in the last 40 years. It's now about 18% of gross domestic product. That's insane. And actually, unfortunately, that's not even written right? Because healthcare in our culture is sick care, right? What do you typically go to doctors for when you're not right? Something's broken, you're not feeling right, etc. Healthcare is taking care of yourself, right? That spending is a little different number. Poor diets lead to lower academic achievement, lost productivity at work, increases in chronic disease risk, which is why the numbers are skyrocketing, right? Autoimmune numbers going through the roof. Cancer is almost caught heart disease as the #1 killer now. It's not quite, still behind it, but they've been 1 and 2 for the last 60 years, which tells you a lot about what's been going on in the approach. And obviously it leads to substantially increased out-of-pocket healthcare costs, right? Which it is so much more expensive in life financially to not do the right things, right? It just costs you so much more. And then when you add on quality of life, it's just a mind blower. The other thing they talked about was the effect on national security. 71% of the people ages 17 to 24 can't qualify for the military. And the #1 reason is obesity at that age. Think about that. I mean, you have to actually work at that to get into that situation, which then goes on to also affect government budgets, private sector wages. I mean, the cascade goes everywhere. So, yeah, you can't change what other people do, but you can change what you do. And the reason is simple, you'd want to, because you live a better life. Lack of nutrients and wrong calories are essentially what they're talking about there. But there's another piece to this that doesn't get talked about nearly as much, and it should be shouted from the rooftop, and that's the amount of toxicity that we are exposed to. There's 100,000 chemicals that have been released in our environment, and they are deemed safe. No, they're not. And they're definitely not safe when one meets another. That's not been tested either, because most chemics they're not toxicologists. That's not what they're about. There's 3,000 chemicals in the food supply. There's 29 pesticides in the average human body. 29. That stuff is scary. 40 chemicals are in a newborn bloodstream. And this stuff is all you can find, this stuff, if you want to go do the research. I've done some of it, which is why I have it. Processed and industrialized food, that is the primary issue, right? And you can make a choice on that, right? Most people on meds, the reality is they could get off. Meds are ideal, right? We're blessed to be in an age where we have access to medicines for when we have acute issues. But from a lifestyle perspective, man, that is not the road you want to travel, because the more you're on meds, the more meds you'll be on, because the average medicine, right, it blocks nutrients, it causes other issues in the body because it's forcing the body to do something it can't do right now, whatever that is. And if it can't do that, it's typically tied back to nutritional deficiency over time. So there's a few little nuggets for you. If you want a good starting point, go to Tburrier.com eating plan. That is in the link below. Yes, in my 3 Circles philosophy. And by the way, if you read the book, 3 Circles Living, that will really help you tremendously, because I dive really deep into all all the things that I do and have taught over the years in the health circles. The sun's moving behind the building right now. And it'll give you a roadmap of exactly what to do. You know, is it perfect? No, nothing's perfect, but will it help? A great deal. It will help. So also my email is below. If you have a question, feel free to shoot it out. Hope this was helpful for you in some way.